This infographic shows that 60% of the waste currently sitting in our landfills is made up of organic material. When this organic matter rots trapped under mountains of other garbage, it produces highly combustible methane gas. As the tragic Louis Gaja landfill explosion in 2005 proved, this creates a catastrophic physical hazard for surrounding communities. But the environmental threat doesn't stop at the landfill. It continues right beneath our own sinks. Most typical household cleaning routines rely heavily on harsh synthetic chemicals. Every time we buy a new bottle of floor cleaner or detergent, we are also bringing another piece of single-use plastic into the home, adding directly to the global plastic crisis. So our standard approach to keeping our homes clean is actively polluting the earth twice, first when the chemical and plastic are manufactured, and again when they are thrown away. There is a practical way to break this cycle. It's called Ecoenzym, a solution originally developed by Dr. Rosukan Phumpanvong to address both chemical reliance and organic waste at the same time. Ecoenzym is a completely natural, highly versatile liquid cleaner that you create entirely through the fermentation of your everyday kitchen scraps. To make it, you need a few basic items: a plastic container, brown sugar, fresh fruit scraps, water, and a measuring scale. With just a few minutes of active preparation, you can turn the scraps you are going to throw away into a safe, powerful household product. Step 1 is selecting the right vessel. You must use a plastic container rather than glass, because the fermentation process produces expanding gases that can cause glass to shatter. Once you have your plastic container, you must follow the 60% rule. The absolute maximum amount of water you can add is 60% of the container's total volume. For example, if you use a 10-liter container, your limit is exactly 6 liters of water. Firmly, that remaining 3% of empty headspace is a non-negotiable safety requirement. The gases need room to expand, otherwise the container will burst open under the pressure. This graphic outlines the golden 1:3:10 ratio. The 1 is your catalyst, 1 part brown sugar or molasses. The 3 is organic waste, 1.8 kilograms of scraps. Finally, the 10 is your water base, equaling 6 liters here. There is a critical failure point to avoid here. The fruit and vegetable scraps you use must be absolutely fresh. If they are already rotting or growing mold, they will ruin the batch. By precisely measuring these 3 distinct components, you guarantee that the biological breakdown will occur safely and effectively. Now let's assemble the mixture. Start by pouring your carefully measured 60% water volume directly into your empty plastic container. Next, add your brown sugar or molasses into the water. You need to stir this continuously until the sugar is completely dissolved. Once the water is sweetened, carefully drop in your chopped, fresh fruit and vegetable scraps. Finally, take the lid and seal the container as tightly as you physically can. This locks out the oxygen and secures the environment. At this point, your physical labor is finished. You've transitioned the project from an active mixing phase into a state of passive chemistry. Take your sealed container and place it in a safe, well-ventilated location. Ensure it is completely shielded from any direct sunlight. Now, the fermentation timeline begins. If you live in a tropical climate like Indonesia, the process requires exactly 3 months. However, if you are located in a cooler, subtropical climate, the biological reaction slows down, and you must double your wait time to a full 6 months. You might be tempted to check your progress, but opening the container early interrupts the environment and ruins the chemical conversion. That untouched time is the final, invisible ingredient required to fully transform your kitchen waste into usable enzymes. When those 3 months are up, you will open the container to find a brownish liquid that carries a distinctively fresh, sour aroma. Don't worry if your batch looks different from someone else's. Color variations ranging anywhere from light to dark brown are completely normal and simply depend on the specific types of scraps and sugar you used. To ensure you reach that proper end state, your very last step today is to write a label with today's date and a strict "do not open until" warning and stick it right on the lid. By completing this process, you are creating a triple impact. You are diverting organic waste away from the landfill, eliminating toxic chemicals from your home, and avoiding the purchase of new plastic packaging. By simply mixing water, sugar, and daily scraps, You have taken a powerful, measurable step toward reducing the Earth's environmental burden.